Hi, I'm Josh with Royell Communications, and today I'd like to talk to you about setting up your router at home. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is get our router. What we have here is a CN Pilot 190W, and the first thing we want to do is open it up. Check to see what's in here. We have a CN Pilot router. Just a standard Ethernet router. We also have a power cable and a Ethernet cable. Now that we have our router, we need to know where to put it. So what we need to locate next is our PoE. Okay, so the PoE comes in many different shapes and sizes, which we usually identify them as a black box or a cream colored box that's behind your router. These are the three different types of PoE that you'd be looking for. Now once you've located this box, you'll be able to hook up your router, because this is where the router will have to plug into the service for it to have internet connectivity. So now once we've located these boxes, we want to go ahead and plug the router in. So the first thing we want to do with the router here is plug the power cable in. So we just want to plug our power cable in here, which is standard for most routers. And the next thing we want to do is go ahead and plug in the PoE. Your PoE should already have an Ethernet cable in it, but if it doesn't, you can always use the one you got from the box that came with your router. And depending on what type of PoE you have, determines on how you need to plug it in. So this PoE has your outside service cable that plugs in here, and then this portion would plug into the back of your router in the WAN port. Now for the cream colored PoE and the bigger black PoE, they're both very similar. So the cream colored PoE will say data and power out, and that's for your outside cable to plug in, and the data in cable is what plugs into the back of the router. And I had mentioned before that the black PoE, the bigger black PoE, is also very similar to the cream colored PoE. The black PoE will have a out and a in. The outside cable, the service cable, runs in and plugs into the out, and the cable that will plug into your router goes into the in. So you'll want to plug that in here. And then the same as the other two. The service cable that comes from the PoE plugs directly into the WAN port on the back of the router. Okay, so now that you have your router hooked up, we want to go ahead and make sure that we can connect. So what you want to do here is go ahead and go to the Wi-Fi on your device. and you should see a list of connections. So you select your name that you want to connect to, and you'll be prompted to put in your network security key, which is your wireless password. And the icon in the bottom should show that you're connected to your network name with internet access. And now we just want to go ahead and see if we can browse the internet. You can use any browser you'd like, whether it be Microsoft Edge, Internet Explorer, Google Chrome, or Firefox. And you'll type in your address of where you want to go up here in the top address bar. And now we're browsing the internet. Okay, so now that we've connected to Wi-Fi, we want to check and make sure that we can also connect with a hardwired device. So what you want to do is take an Ethernet cable and plug it into any of the ports 1 through 4 on the back of the router. And then you also take the other end of that Ethernet cable that you've plugged in here and plug it directly into a device that has an Ethernet port on it. And once you've done that, you just do the same thing that we did before. You pull up a web browser and you check and see if you can surf the web while you're direct connect. And that's how you set up your wireless router. If you have any questions or need anything, you can always contact us during our normal business hours between 9 and 6, Monday through Friday, and 9 to 1 on Saturday. We'll answer any questions you have. Just give us a call.